Thank you. Supervisor Dorn.
Thank you. Just for clarification, perhaps for the new supervisors, when you say ITBEC, I assume you mean the International Trade, Business, and Economic Development Council. Is that correct? So that'd be page 41 on the electronic version? Okay. And sorry, can you just clarify again? I think this makes sense, but for us new people that weren't kind of aware of that situation, can you just explain it again? Thank you.
So currently the position within planning and zoning includes a planner, and over time there was a tourism position, a part of that department. That position became vacant, was no longer a part of the table of organization, and became absorbed into the planner functions. And it was a larger portion of the planner's responsibility than it should have been over time. I would suggest that occurred just because as things happen, the individual took on that responsibility seriously and did quite a bit of work in tourism. That individual has left employment with the county, so it created an opportunity for us to review where we are with tourism overall. We have a new economic development department, and by new I mean, I don't know how many years, Mary? 5. So over time, it makes much more sense to have a conversation with Parks, who also participates in that, and Economic Development, who also participates in that. We haven't come up with our overall suggestion yet in terms of staffing or where that position belongs, if it's an actual full-time position or not. But it makes sense for it to no longer be a part of planning and zoning. The conversation's been had with Economic Development Director, Planning and Zoning Director, and the Parks Director, and myself.
All right. Are there any other requests to speak on this amendment? And I'm going to have you read it again, because I don't know if I have. No, just read them. You make the motion? Okay. So it is to eliminate who shall be a member of the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee. Okay. So please mark your ballots. Okay, the amendment motion passed with 18 ayes, 1 nay, and 2 absent. So we will move on back to the original motion of the adoption of the rules. Give me just 1 second. And I don't think we had a queue. Does anybody else wish to speak on the rules of order? All right, seeing no one else wishing to speak, we are voting on the amended rules of order. An aye would adopt them, a nay, they would fail. So please mark your ballot. And Supervisor Connors, could you please confirm? Yay. We have 19 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent, so the rules of County Board have been adopted.
Whoa. Boy.
All right, let me get reorganized here. So the next order of business is the election of the County Board Chair. The election of the chair and the vice chair are done by secret ballot. So you have ballots at your table, and the gold ballot, and second vice chair. So the gold ballot is the secret nominating ballot, and that's where you're going to place the name of a candidate on and the office being voted for. So we go in order, so I'll tell you what we're voting for. After those ballots are collected, Kimberly and Todd are going to be the ballot clerks. Then we add up, we actually take all the candidates for the nominations, we tell you who they are, they get to speak for 3 minutes if they wish to, so you kind of know who you're voting for. And then we do the formal ballot, and that actually gives a vote for the number. And I believe we go until we have a majority, a simple majority. The lowest number drops off every time. Do I have to explain the supervisors? No. Okay. I would ask that you now please mark your gold nomination ballot, and this is for chairperson. So you want to nominate someone for chairperson of the board. Okay. Okay, we have two candidates, Alice Connors and Scott Hanschke. So I would like to allow each of you 3 minutes to speak. And I'm just going to go in alphabetical order. So Alice, if you would like to speak.
Sure. Thank you. As most of you know, I've been on this board a long time, and I've put a lot of sweat and blood into making it a good board. This will be my last 2-year term. I would like to serve out my chairmanship for those 2 years. I was board chair since 2014, and before that I was the vice chair for 5 years. I have a couple things on my agenda I want to kind of push, and that's the TAD program, which is the Transitional Alternative and Diversion Program for Offenders. We need to establish this committee because we were given a new judge, so that was one of the requirements. I've been experienced in some of this information, and I would like to see that to fruition. The other thing I would like to see is that our 4-H club be indoctrinated into student government. It's something I've been wanting to do for the last 4 or 5 years and got sidetracked because of the pandemic, and we couldn't get it done. Also looking forward to some of the projects that we have voted for in use of the ARPS program. And just to let you know that I have been very active speaking to towns, villages, cities, governments. I'm out to most of them. I take my administrator along just to keep them informed of what's happening in the county. I put a lot of time in here, and I would just like to serve out my last 2 years as your chairman. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Supervisor Connor. Supervisor Hanschke?
Thank you. Hey, I'm deeply honored I was nominated. I'd just like to say that I think I appreciate Alice's leadership. Totally appreciate that. I think it's time for, new and youthful and different ways of looking at things. And I think when I look and I talk to people, my constituents, I see and hear people are hurting. People are not doing so good, and I want to make sure that we preserve their economic and personal safety. I come with a background of a business mindset, keep things efficient and clean, and always looking out to make sure that we do what the constituents want, which is fiscal responsibility, and to make sure that we deliver all services that the county provides at an exceptionally high level. As far as an agenda, I would say I don't have an agenda other than to just be an advocate for the taxpayers of the county. So thank you for the nomination. If I'm elected, I would accept, and hopefully I could work with Todd a little bit more closer because he's a great guy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have Alice and we have Scott, and so I need you to mark your secret formal ballot, put office of chair, and then vote for either Alice or Scott. And then the ballot clerks will come around and pick them up. Okay, we have a new chair. Alice, you have been elected chair again.
Thank you.
And I now get to relinquish my seat.
Great job.
Hey.
Get all my paraphernalia together.
I know, I brought the paper.
Thank you, everyone, for your support. I hope I do justice to this position. We will now have the appointment of the election of the first vice chair. And you have your nominating ballot, which is your orange one.
Point of order, Alice, you want to follow the agenda, or we're going to skip over 8 and 9?
Oh, excuse me, yes, sorry, I'm changing here. I need a motion to approve the agenda. So I have a motion by Supervisor Booty and the second by Supervisor Diedrich. Please vote your ballot. Simeon, would you confirm, please? Thank you. We have 19 yes, 0 nay, 2 absent. We have a majority vote, so our agenda has been approved. You have the minutes before you. May I have a motion for the approval? Just one moment, please. A motion for approval of the minutes. Hanschke. I have a motion by Supervisor Hanschke and a second by Supervisor Booty. If there are no corrections to the minutes, please vote your ballot. First one. This one. Okay, we have Supervisor Dorn abstain, all right. We have 18 yes, 1 abstain, and 2 absent. So we have a majority vote, so the minutes have been approved. Moving on now, we will have the election of the vice chair for a 2-year term. We will please place their name on the gold ballot, which is your secret nominating ballot. All right, we have several for, first vice chair would be Matthew Booty, Chad Doran, Ken Irwin, Ron Diedrich, Scott Hanschke, and Mary Schwallenberg. So now we go to the green ballot.
You get 3 minutes to speak.
Huh? 3 minutes to speak, okay. All right, Matthew, would you like to speak?
Thank you all very much. Thank you for the honor of being nominated to serve as the vice chair of this organization. It's an honor I get to share with a bunch of people here who have all been nominated for this wonderful post. Thanks. I have 12 years of experience here on the county board, have served on numerous committees over that time. If elected to this position, I will gladly assist our chair as she deems necessary, running the meetings in her absence, or anything else that she may so deem as appropriate. Thank you all very much.
Supervisor Diedrich?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also appreciate the nomination, and I think any of those people nominated would serve well. I would just like to ask for your support. I think it'd be a good opportunity for me to learn more about how to run the meetings and to assist Alice in her functions going forward. Thank you.
All right. Supervisor Dorn?
Thank you. And thank you for the nomination from my fellow colleagues. I appreciate that. I guess I would say that I'd be excited to serve as the vice chair. I know I'm new to this board. I know some of the staff and some of my colleagues here on the as supervisors. What I would say I would bring to the position, certainly first and foremost, I guess, is sort of perspective from the more populated corner of the county up in the Appleton, Harrison area, I guess, which certainly is important in a number of ways, but also sort of experience in government. I worked for the city of Appleton for 6 years, so I certainly know government that way at the local level. I also work in state government in the state senate, so I'm very familiar with how state government works, have a number of contacts at the state level with how legislation proceeds, and hopefully that combination of things will bring some benefit to the board as well, in helping us sort of keep up to speed on things at the state level too. So would be honored to have your vote. Thank you.
Supervisor Hanschke?
Thank you, and I agree with Ron Diedrich there. I think any one of those names would make wonderful vice chairs, and I think it's very important that we have different representation and opportunity for growth and all that stuff. And I'd be excited to work with Alice to learn more. I bring a different perspective. I represent Harrison, the upper area of the county with the largest growth, and I know a lot of you guys and gals that previous term. I guess I just bring a more business-minded, more change management type of attitude that anything is possible when we put our minds to it, and that's what my background is change management and the ability to think outside the box, and that's what I would try to bring to this county is new, fresh ideas. Never say never. Think outside the box, and anything is possible. So, thank you again for the nomination. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Hatchke. Supervisor Irwin?
Well, thank you for the consideration given me. I come from a family of leadership. The story has it my great uncle was a Wisconsin congressman. I myself began my leadership skills in 4-H. That's how I started. I went on to become a town supervisor, town of the Holstein supervisor. I moved to South Texas, became the city council member for 4 years, mayor pro tem, and lots and lots of management, whether it be service type leadership. I was a lifelong Kiwanian, so I would love the opportunity to work with Alice and the whole staff for Calumet County. We could go a long way. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Irwin. Supervisor Schwallenberg?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also appreciate the nomination. As you're probably all aware, I was second vice chair before, so I bring that experience. I have worked with Alice before. If she's not available or chooses to send her chair or vice chair to meetings to replace her, that's what we've done. My background is in health. I'm a registered nurse. So those are the committees that I serve on and are dear to my heart. I would appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Schwallenberg. Okay, we go back to the green ballot, and it will be Chad Doran, Matthew Booty, Ken Irwin, Ron Diedrich, Scott Henschke, Mary Schwallenberg. Who else drops off? Okay. All right, excuse me, Supervisor Irwin drops off of the nomination, so we are back to Chad Dorwin, Matthew Booty, Ron Diedrich, Scott Hanschke, and Mary Schwallenberg.
Is it all right while we wait to go to the bathroom if we need to and all that, or do we have to adjourn, or?
We'll wait. All right, if you'd please take your seat. Everybody back? Okay. All right. The remaining three to be nominated would be Matthew Booty, Scott Hanschke, and Mary Schwallenberg. Please vote your green ballot again. All right, we have two left, Scott Hanschke and Mary Schwallenberg.
Souvenirs.
All right, our first vice chair is Mary Schwallenberg.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, now we're voting for the second vice chair on your nominating ballot, your orange one. Okay, we have Supervisor Booty, Supervisor Diedrich, Supervisor Hanschke, Supervisor Huffsberger, Supervisor Uren, and Supervisor Steer. So Supervisor Booty, do you wish to speak?
Really nothing else to say. Again, thank you very much for being nominated again. And everything I said before still applies, except I'll also help Mary and Alice as necessary.
All right, thank you. Supervisor Diedrich?
Don't take enough time. I appreciate the nomination, and I hope you support me. Thank you.
Supervisor Hanschke?
Oh, thank you. I'll go ahead and withdraw my name from nomination.
Withdraw?
Yeah, thank you.
Supervisor Huffsberger?
Thank you. I also appreciate your support. I have been on the county board for 6 years, If you would like to vote for me, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you Supervisor Hufsberger. Supervisor Irwin?
Thank you for the consideration. That's all I have to say. Hope you support me.
And Supervisor Steer?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate the nomination, and I would appreciate any votes. Thank you.
All right. So we have Supervisor Booty, Supervisor Diedrich, Supervisor Hufsberger, Supervisor Irwin, and Supervisor Steer.
So, vote your green ballot.
Your green ballot.
Did I get everybody over here?
That was quick. Everybody's home already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Want to get going? Hatchkey withdrew. Okay, we are left with Supervisor Booty, Supervisor Diedrich, Supervisor Hufsberger, and Supervisor Steer.
The names again? Are these the names?
Yes.
Moody, Dietrich, Hofberger,
And Steer.
Thank you. I must not have been efficient enough.
I'm missing two.
She's not going to vote, right?
She didn't last time, but I was going to ask her.
Emily's coming back.
She's coming back. Supervisor Booty, Diedrich, Hofsberger, and Steer.
They got to stop.
Is she coming back?
No, she's not.
Wait.
I'll ask her.
Supervisor Halsku, did you vote? Okay. Not gonna vote.
Wait, wait. Yes, let's see.
You got the numbers? Okay. Supervisor Booty, Supervisor Diedrich, and Supervisor Huffsberger. Your green ballot. All right, we have two left, Supervisor Huffsberger and Supervisor Diedrich.
Hard to find with ballot clerks.
I don't think there was any public participation.
We can
It's all on the up and up.
Did you two want to vote?
Supervisor Hochberger and Supervisor Diedrich.
Yeah, I did.
No, not you.
You voted.
All right, our second vice chair, Supervisor Diedrich.
Thank you all. Sorry, Michael.
All right, moving on, we have communications. It's okay.
Thank you. Okay, the first communication was the 2022 WCA Biennial Survey. Probably most of you filled them out already. If not, they're the yellow slips on your desk. Please fill them out, send them to the end, and I will send them back to WCA. Second was a memorandum from the WCA regarding the district meetings. Our district meets Thursday, April 28th from 3 to 5 at the Hilton Paper Valley in Appleton.
And all supervisors certainly are entitled to go to that, and you will be paid your per diem. It's a very interesting meeting to go to. You learn a little bit about what's happening as Wisconsin Counties Association. They elect their representatives from those districts, and they also elect members of the insurance, County Mutual.
Okay, our third communication was the submittal of annual reports and other compliance documents for Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System MS4 permits from the Land and Water Department, and that is just for your viewing pleasure.
And you have that in your packet.
And the final was La Crosse County referendum results on clean water.
And I'll refer that to Land and Water. Okay, I don't believe, is there any public participation? I didn't see anything written down. No, all right. Then moving on to resolutions.
Resolution.
Go ahead. Resolution 2022-02.
Acknowledging KENNETH DRAHEIM. Acknowledging the meritorious work of Supervisor KENNETH DRAHEIM, introduced by the Calumet County Board of Supervisors.
All right, I have a motion by,
Oh, hold on, I wasn't ready.
that's all right. All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Diedrich and a second by Supervisor Hanschke, was it?
Yes.
All right. All right, we just ask for unanimous support for this resolution, so please vote your ballot.
I'm not ready.
All right. She's not ready. I'm ready. She's not ready.
So who made the motion? I don't know who made the motion.
Ron?
What's
Supervisor
your motion,
Diedrich
please?
Ready?
Yeah,
and Supervisor Hanschke.
thank you.
Thank you.
Now you can vote.
All right, now please vote your ballot.
Is it not working?
It's not working.
Yep, I got an error message. Try it now. No?
There we go. Supervisor Hulsher, would you confirm, please? Thank you. 19 yes, 0 nay, 2 absent, majority vote. Thank you, Supervisor Draheim, for your service to the county board. Moving on to Resolution 2022-03.
Resolution acknowledging the meritorious work of Supervisor Judy HARTL, introduced by the Calumet County Board of Supervisors.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Schwallenberg. Would you please vote your ballot? We have 19 yes, 0 nay, 2 absent, majority vote. And thank you, Supervisor HARTL, for your service. Moving on to Resolution 2022-04.
Resolution acknowledging the meritorious work of Supervisor Dwayne Stillman, introduced by the Calumet County Board of Supervisors.
I have a motion by Supervisor Voigt and a second by Supervisor Doran. Please vote your ballot. 19 yes, 0 nay, 2 absent. We have a majority vote, and thank you, Supervisor Stillman, for your service to the county board. Moving on to Resolution 2022-05.
I got it. I just get my voting system here ready. Resolution approving amendments to Town of Chilton zoning ordinance on certain property in the Town of Chilton, property of Gregory and Jennifer Vollmer, introduced by the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Booty, second by Supervisor Schwallenberg. And Supervisor Gleckner, are you prepared to speak to this?
Yes, yes, I am. And I'm speaking on behalf of Mike Hoffberger, our chairman. I'm the vice chair. Gregory and Jennifer Vollmer have requested to rezone a portion of their property located in the town of Chilton on Farrell Springs Road. The town of Chilton approved the rezone by ordinance on February 14th, 2022. Although the town of Chilton is not under county zoning, Wisconsin statutes require all zoning ordinance amendments to be approved by the county board. And our recommendation is that the Calumet County Planning and Zoning and Farmland Preservation Committee voted unanimously to recommend approval of the rezoning after finding that the zoning amendment is not in conflict with the county zoning jurisdiction or the regulatory authorities such as shoreland zoning, land division, or wetland floodplain zoning. The town of Chilton followed the proper administrative procedure in adopting the zoning map amendment. And if you have any questions, I'm sure that Chris would be happy to answer them.
Right. Are there any questions of Supervisor Gleckner or anyone regarding this resolution? I don't see any, so please vote your ballot.
Supervisor Hoffberger?
Yes, I did text, but I will do it again.
Thank you.
Supervisor Holschuh is confirming. Right, we have 18 yes, 0 nay, 1 abstain, and it has received a majority vote. So we will, that resolution has been adopted. Moving on, are there any supervisor reports of meetings or seminars that you have attended? And if you have, please press your request to speak.
Well, they can't do that yet.
Can't do that yet. All right, just a moment.
Now they can.
Now you can, okay. Supervisor Booty.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The East Central Wisconsin ITBEC had met earlier this month. We continued to work on our advertising campaign to promote the Endless Shores region, which is, for those of you who are new, a tourism destination conglomerate between Calumet County, Winnebago County, and Fond du Lac counties. We said goodbye to Bill Corer, the Wisconsin Counties Association field representative, who has been retiring, as well as to representatives from Fond du Lac and Winnebago counties who are going to be ending their terms on their respective county boards. So that was a bittersweet meeting. For the Highway Committee, just want to let everyone know that there is going to be a community open house to discuss High Cliff Connection, which is a trail system under the auspices of the East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. And that is going to be Wednesday, April 20th from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Menasha City Hall. There's also going to be a virtual community open house, which is going to be Wednesday, April 27th from 4 to 6 p.m. If anyone wants, I have a flyer here, or I can just give you the website so you can look that up yourself. Additional information regarding Highway Committee. We are probably going to have a few new members on that committee, so I just want everyone to be fully aware that there is going to be a Northeast Regional Commissioner and Committee Member meeting on Thursday, May 12th. And the Wisconsin County Highway Association Summer Road School is going to be scheduled for June 6th through Wednesday, June 8th. If you are on the Highway Committee and you are a new member, please reach out to our commissioner as soon as possible to get further details on that. And also, just be aware, our roundabout project at Midway Schmidt Road on County Trunk Highway N is going to be commencing before our next county board meeting. So if you normally take that as a route to get here, be aware that is not going to be a route for you once the month of May rolls around. Thanks.
Thank you, Supervisor Booty. Supervisor Schwallenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I would like to say that we had a Student Government Day, which has been a tradition for the county, but because of COVID, hadn't had it before. This time, 8th graders were invited. Normally, high school students had been invited, but we figured that we should get to them a little bit earlier than high school. They learned about, and it was handled by our 4-H coordinator. They learned about parliamentary procedure. I see Sheriff Wiegert is gone, but one of the reasons a lot of the students said they wanted to come was so that they could see the new dispatch center and the new law enforcement center. And he took them through places that I hadn't been through before either, too. So, and naturally, they didn't get to see any of the actual cells. Also, then the K-9 unit, Alec with Deputy Matuzik brought in. Alec is our friendly K-9 dog. The other one is not so friendly. You can't go near him. But you found out, even though he's very friendly, that when somebody came in their garb, he did attack them and ended up with the padding for the arm that he dragged around the rest of the meeting. So the American Legion served the lunch. It was unfortunate. Usually we had a lot of American Legion members, but I think they're kind of aging out, and the ones that we normally had weren't able to come to participate. So Health and Human Services, we had our year-end financials. We will be returning $1.1 million to the general fund. We traditionally return money to the general fund, usually not this much. COVID brought in a lot of money, and it's not because our department does not budget well. They tend to find every grant and money available. We traditionally don't budget for youth corrections or our state mental health facility placements because these are very expensive. We used to do that years ago, and then more money would go back to the county. We try not to send children or adults to these facilities, and our staff is extremely good at handling them in-house. We haven't had placements, I think, for a long time. Staffing remains a problem, but then that's a problem all over the country. As you may be aware, all 72 counties are now in the low range of COVID, and our vaccination clinic is held on Wednesdays here at the courthouse, I believe just through the end of April, and that is handled by the state. They do accept walk-ins, or you can make an appointment. I also serve on the Children of Disabilities Committee. Dr. Barlev will be here, I believe, next month to present the budget for that. That only handles if you live in one of the 5 school districts, Brillion, Chilton, Stockbridge, Hilbert, or New Holstein. That just handles all the special ed for those 5 districts. So anybody that serves on that committee has to live in one of those 5 districts. As far as parks is concerned, the fishing club at Brothertown has asked if we could put an ADA boat ramp down at Brothertown Harbor. This is not a ramp that goes into a water. This is a special ramp where the boat is still on the trailer, and the person in the wheelchair goes up this ramp and then gets into the boat, and then the boat is taken down to the landing and put in the water. That will take up 2 of our spots, and on top of that, people are asking for more ADA compliant spots. This would be at no cost to the county. Our Parks Director will get grants plus what the shipping club has. Our harbor blacktop, as everything else, has gone up in price 20%, which will be in $40,000 to $50,000 extra range. We still have some grant money available, and then we may have to go to admin services to ask for more money. Our ash tree harvest is done from the bathhouse to the south. If you've been out there, and I haven't been out there recently, but there was wood and stuff that the vendor was going to come in and pick up and chip, and then some of it will be burned by us. Excuse me. If you're aware of the park, there's that stone wall that was there. That was a dry, that wasn't, concrete wasn't used to hold it together, and the trees have been gone from back of there. These were all ash trees that several years ago the county decided to have it cut down where we could still get some money back from it versus letting them just die. Our well on the south end is in. It's a 500-foot well. Hopefully by May we'll have it done, and we have an RO system down there too. We're looking at putting an ADA kayak launch at County Harbor. We will have automated boat launch vending machines, which will be in later, as Adam says, like everybody else that needs a chip. Whether it's cars or whatever, we're waiting. They will be a little bit late because we're waiting for the chips. Brothertown Harbor will be, let me see, striped, and we need a retention pond, excuse me. We have a southern camping sites that we're working on. Our cabins, we're waiting for materials like everybody else, windows and stuff. We have some of them to build them. Our pond, we're waiting for the DNR to come because it has to be within so many feet of the lake, right, if we can get a waiver for that. We're looking at hiring summer help too, as with the highway, it's having the same problem. We are getting summer help to work. And what Supervisor Booty mentioned about the trail, that's a trail that started 20 years ago, as Mrs. Nelson reminded us. She was a county supervisor then. But at that time, we were looking at putting it on the south side of the highway. Now, what what they're having at Menasha is prospective trails. Right now, there are different options as to put that. That trail will go from Waverly to High Cliff, is what it is. Right now, the study is being done by East Central, and that is being paid for by the Nelson Fund. If you've heard anything about the Nelson Fund, the family that left a large amount of money to be used for actually recreation or something along the lake. So I'm sorry I got so wordy. I apologize. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Supervisor Schwamberg. Supervisor Gleckner.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I also wanted to thank Dina Mooney for her 18 years of public service to the Planning and Zoning Committee, which Matthew has already covered in his usual thorough manner. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you.
And I was also going to alert people to the trails meeting out to, the public hearing that's being held for the public to provide input on the trails. But since it's already been mentioned twice, I'm going to spare you.
Okay. Thank you, Supervisor Gleckner. All right, you've had the county administrator's report in your packet. Are there any questions regarding his report? All right, if not, our next regular meeting will be May 17th at 7 o'clock. We will adjourn this meeting until 1 o'clock this afternoon, at which time you will be given your committee assignments. So we stand adjourned until 1 o'clock. We have, you've all received your assignments, and I would ask for a motion to approve the 2022-2024 committee assignments. And I have a motion by Matthew Booty and a second by Supervisor Diedrich. Are there any questions? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. Mike isn't it? Roland Gens has been absent.
I can't fix that while they're voting.
All right, okay.
And I don't know if they want to go forward.
How do we do this then?
It's a do-over. It's a do-over.
Just let them know it's
There, that's it, right?
Yep.
All right, now they can vote again.
All right, please vote now again. Ken, would you please confirm? Simeon, would you confirm? Thank you. All right, we have 17 yes, 0 nay, 4 absent, and it has been declared by a majority vote that the assignments have been approved. All right. With no other action to come before the board, I will adjourn this meeting.